Hey everyone, it's Kieran and Nick from the Pokemon Troupe, and we're here today to bring you a battle report from the League Challenge that Nick attended over this past weekend.
So, the League Challenge was here in Des Moines, Iowa, and I decided to play Night March, and it was a standard format, so no Muse, nothing like that, and I went 4-0. It was a pretty small League Challenge. I think there's about 10 people, but you know, 15 championship points is 15 championship points, so I'll take it. Yeah, I'll just start going over the deck. Of course, we got all the 4/4 of Night March Pokemon. Very standard, you know.
So this is my Boston Open list as well. Every Night March list plays a 4-4-4 line.
Yeah, so we got 4/4/4 Night March. You know, of course, Night March attack does 20 damage for each Pokemon with Night March in your discard pile. Can be powered up with DCE, with Joltik just taking DCE, and Pumpkaboo takes 3, but we can get around that. I played 3 Shaman EX. Yeah, to help draw through the deck. This is the only, well, no, not the only EX, but this is very good to help just set up, you know, go through your deck, be very consistent, and get a lot done in one turn. I played 1 Bunnelby from Primal Clash. It's really nice to help get your double colorless energies back if you end up playing a long game. And then also, if your opponent doesn't see it coming, you can deck them out with that. Then I played 1 Latios EX.
Kiernan's special tech.
Kiernan's special tech. I think it was a good call for the meta that was around here. A lot of the decks were Vespiquen, so if you can get any sort of use out of Latios EX, it's really with Vespiquen and in the Night March Mirror. Okay, so that's all the Pokemon. And then for supporters, I played 4 Sycamore.
Everyone knows what Sycamore does. I don't feel like I need to zoom in on that.
Yeah, 4 Sycamore, 2 Lysander, and 1 Professor Birch's Observations. 4 Sycamore is pretty obvious. Helps you get Night Marches in the discard pile. It's the most consistent supporter. Lysander is really nice because with Night March, you can pretty much one-shot everything after turn 1 or turn 2. So you use Lysander a lot to like bring out bench Shamans, or just usually your opponent won't have time to set up a threat right away, so they have to leave something on their bench, and you can Lysander that up and take that out. I played the 1 Birch just for
Shuffle draw?
Shuffle draw, because you don't want to like Sycamore away like 2 double colorless. That's really gross, and you know, you never know when you'll need that. Also, if you are playing a long game and you're just like, Night March can usually just draw and attack a lot of the time. So if you have a bunch of cards in your hand and you're about to deck out, you can play Birch to, you know, not deck out. That's really nice.
It's a nice assurance, because after you've thinned your deck, even if you draw those 4 cards and you don't hit the 7, Night March is a deck that I feel like can afford to play Birch.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the fact that once your deck is thin enough, you're going to draw into the resources that you need anyways.
Exactly. And also, I chose Birch over Shauna just because of the fact that with 3 Shamans EX, even if you do draw 4, you can still recover off it really easy with Shaman. Otherwise, I feel if you're playing a slower deck and maybe that doesn't run Shaman, I feel like Shauna would be possibly a better decision.
Yeah,
because of the assurance. I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation, but Birch definitely instead of Shauna in this deck.
I myself tend to be a Shauna advocator, but I feel like in this deck, like you said, it makes good use of it because it does play the 3 Shaman, and you are thinning your deck. You do have access to Battle Compressor, so I feel like this is a rare occurrence where I would pick Birch over Shauna.
Okay, then I played 4 VS Seeker, of course, because I only play 7 total supporters, so the VS Seeker is really nice. And then in combination with like Battle Compressors and stuff like that, you can Battle Compressor away a supporter and, you know, use that. And also it helps you reuse Lysanders a lot, which I find myself doing. Then of course, one of the hearts of the deck, the 4 battle compressor. Of course, you want to get as many Night March Pokemon in your discard pile as soon as possible. So it works really well. Then for some item support, I played 4 Acrobike and 3 Trainer's Mail. I played more Acrobike over Trainer's Mail just because of the fact that you can dig for DCEs off of it. But Trainer's Mail is still really good because you can get like battle compressors or supporters off of it. And yeah, this is pretty much the heart of the deck. Like, it does so well. I was never upset with having a Trainer's Mail or an Acrobike in my hand.
It definitely, playing those many item draw cards, it definitely helps you speed through your deck and get that turn 1 Night March for 180, which is honestly probably the magic number in this format at least, especially on the first turn when nothing can Mega Evolve besides Rayquaza, which is weak to Joltik anyways. What made you go with 4 Acrobike and 3 Trainer's Mail? I've noticed a lot of the decks that we saw at Worlds at least played 4 Trainer's Mail and 3 Acrobike.
Like I said, I just liked being able to dig for DCEs, and also Acrobike can really help you also get Night March Pokemon in the discard pile as well, which I really like. And Acrobike is one of my favorite cards and one of my favorite item cards. I think it's great in this deck.
Did playing it, did it have to do with trying to be faster than Vespiquen at all? Was that on your mind when you put it in?
Yeah, it was a little bit, just because in Vespiquen, in the Vespiquen matchup, if you miss getting that DCE and you miss attacking and using Night March, you're so far behind.
You definitely
it's hard
have
to make up
attack
for.
every turn with that deck.
Definitely. So, moving on, we got 4 Ultra Ball. Of course, you play it just so you can Night March Pokemon discard pile. You can get Night March Pokemon with it just so you have an attacker. Main thing is to get Shamans so you can draw through your deck. It's really good. And I played 2 Muscle Band just in case you need to do, so you can like Night March with 8 Pokemon in your discard pile, do 160, 180 with the Muscle Band, and then when that Night March Pokemon gets knocked out, now you have 9 Night Marches in your discard pile, you're doing 180.
That's one of those intricate little plays. You had to do that with Flareon as well, going the first Flareon for 14, 16.
Definitely. Okay, and then I played 2 Revive as well. Since you don't have Mew EX, you need to play Revive just so you can reuse your Night March Pokemon in case you need it. Also, if you ever need to, you can actually Battle Compressor away a Night March Pokemon and use Revive, and it's essentially the same effect as an Ultra Ball for a Night Marcher. So it's pretty cool. And then I played 2 switching cards. I played 1 Switch and 1 Escape Rope, just because switching cards are really nice. And the Escape Rope is actually really nice if you can make your opponent like switch into like a Shaman or something. Escape Rope was definitely useful. I appreciated that over like a second switch. For my stadiums, I played 3 Dimension Valley and 1 Faded Town. Dimension Valley, of course, is so you can Night March with Pumpkaboo. The Faded Town was actually, I think it was a cool card in theory, so you could like use Joltik to knock out like big Mega Pokemon, mainly Mega Manectric, and also even if you do Night March and you get like 200 damage on a Manectric, if they don't get like a Rough Seas, you can actually play Faded Town, Lysander up a different Pokemon, Night March that Pokemon, get a knockout, and then Faded Town will get the knockout on the Mega Manectric in between turns. So that's pretty cool.
How often did it come into play at the League Challenge? Did you have?
I actually didn't use it at all in the League Challenge. I played against 1 Mega Manectric deck, and we'll talk about that later. But I never actually got the opportunity to use Faded Town effectively. I was thinking about it the whole time. Like, I was ready to use it at some point. I just never was able to get it out.
I feel like in Expanded, it could definitely come into play if Magnetric is a big play, because when you have access to Silver Bangle, that makes it so that you are essentially doing the same thing as attacking a 180 HP Pokemon. Because if you have 8 Night Marches in discard pile and a Bangle, the Faded Town is your extra 20 damage, and then you hit those numbers that you need to hit.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be good and expanded.
I definitely consider one.
And then for energies, 4 double colorless, of course, and then 3 psychic for the Latios. And then usually if I'll use psychic energies to use Bundle B as well, just because you usually don't need them on a Night March Pokemon. You're usually just using double colorless. But yeah, that's the deck. I was pretty happy with it. If I would have changed one thing, I probably would have changed the Faded Town just for something else, because I never used it. I don't know exactly what I wanted to change. I was really happy with the list. It was really consistent. I never had a problem throughout the tournament.
I do have a quick question. We were talking about Latios. Did you ever get any donks throughout the day?
I did not. I did not get a donk, but I did get a turn 1 knockout on an Eevee against Vespiquen.
Oh, okay.
But they had another Eevee on their bench, so it did help. It did put me ahead because it put them in a weird spot. But yeah, I think it worked.
Okay.
Worked pretty well. I think I got 2 knockouts with it that game, so it's nice.
Do you want to go into a tournament report now?
Yeah, I'll start talking about my matches. Round 1, I played against Justin Robbins. He's a player from our league. He actually has a YouTube channel as well, the Raving Rayquaza, if you want to go check him out.
Definitely a good person to check out. He's getting into the competitive scene. He's going to be making an appearance at Fort Wayne Regionals.
Okay.
So he's definitely someone you guys should check out.
But yeah, I played against him, and he was playing Vespiquen. And like I said, turn 1, I went first, and I got to knock out an Eevee turn 1, and then I think I knocked out an Eevee turn 2. And then I think the next turn he used a Vespiquen and knocked out my Latios. And I don't think he had any Combies on his bench, so I was able to easily Night March and get a knockout on his Vespiquen. And he didn't play Forest of Giant Plants, which in a normal circumstance I would be okay with that, like I'd understand that, but in the meta that we were in with so much Vespiquen, I feel like you needed to play Forest of Giant Plants so that you could keep up with other Vespiquen decks. But like I said, he played a level ball and he searched for Combi, and 2 of his Combies were prized, and I think he discarded one on accident. Yeah, he discarded one. No, actually the second turn I got a knockout on his Combi. I actually Lysandered up a Combi and knocked it out, I believe.
Did he play Vespiquen Night March or straight Vespiquen?
He played straight Vespiquen Evolutions.
I feel like Vespiquen at this event, it would have been better, at least for this event. I wouldn't normally advocate this at all, but playing Vespiquen Night March just because of the meta we're in and the weird spot we're in.
Vespiquen Night March would have been a pretty good meta call, but you know. But yeah, he level balled for a Combi, and 2 of his Combies were prized, so he just scooped. But this tournament was also best of 1, so yeah, it wasn't a best of 2, so it was just 1 game and done. So yeah, that was round 1. Round 2, I actually played on camera. You should check out our videos from the League Challenge. I played in round 2 on camera against Peyton Walker. He's also a new player. He's getting into the competitive scene. And he was playing Seismitoad, Manectric, Bats. And
was it with like Rough Seas, or was he playing Dimension Valley?
I believe he played I think he played Rough Seas.
Okay.
I want to say he played Rough Seas.
Because there's a lot of differentiation with those lists at Nationals. Lots of them were playing Lasers, some were playing Rough Seas. The list that ended up winning for juniors at Nationals this year played a single Dimension Valley. But of course we don't have access to Laser anymore.
Yeah, so he played Rough Seas. Maybe a Silent Lab in there. I'm not positive. But yeah, so he played that. He actually started Lone Zubat So I tried to go for the turn 1 Latios, but I couldn't quite get it. I think I needed the Latios. I think that's what it was. Because
You had the Psychic and the Muscle Band.
I think I definitely had the Muscle Band. I might have had the Psychic, but I had the Switch as well. But yeah, so that game went by pretty easily. He went for Manectrics instead of Seismitoads, which I thought was kind of weird. There might have been something that he was thinking that I didn't know about. Maybe like snipe out Joltix and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much every time he would put down a Manectric on his bench, I Lysandered it up and knocked it out. And then I think on like his last turn, he did kind of misplay. You can see it in the video, but he used Crobat. He had 20 damage on my Pumpkaboo from a Golbat, and he put 30 more damage on it with a Crobat, and I had a Joltik on my bench, so I was like, I don't know why he didn't knock out my Joltik.
And then just skill dive?
Well, no, he used a teammate, so I thought, and I had my Dimension Valley out, yeah, that's right. So he used teammates, and I thought he was going to get a Golbat and put 20 onto my Joltik and then bring up a Golbat and Supercross, knock them both out. But he ended up getting a Seismitoad, somehow getting some combination of Seismitoad, DC, and Muscle Band to knock out my Pumpkaboo. So that was a kind of a wasted Crobat drop. If he would have knocked out my Joltik, I would have been in a weird spot where I had to promote Bunnelby.
Yeah. Was he maintaining the Quaking Punch lock before? Had he Quaking Punched in the previous turn?
He hadn't Quaking Punched yet, so it was kind of weird. But
because I feel like if you ever, the moment you break that Quaking Punch lock, once you don't get a turn where you're able to Quaking Punch, the lock becomes infinitely weaker. If your opponent even gets, especially with a deck like Night March, because this deck is honestly, if not the fastest deck, one of the fastest decks in the game right now. And I feel like the second that Toad doesn't get a chance to Quaking Punch, you just shoot ahead.
Yeah, he only used Quaking Punch on that one turn, and then after that I just promoted the Joltik, attached to DC, and got the knockout. So that was a pretty easy game. I think he actually only took one knockout, and that was on that Pumpkaboo. So that was a pretty uneventful game, but you know. And then round 3, I played against Joe Bias with a dark deck. He was playing like I don't know. It was kind of a weird dark deck. He had like Sharpedo EX, and he didn't get enough Pokemon out, and he wasn't getting draw supporters. So I beat him pretty easily. I actually had a really rough start though. I couldn't get anything set up for a while, but he wasn't really doing anything for a long time. So I won that game pretty easily. And then round 4, I played against Paul Javel, also on camera. We were both 3-0, and he was playing Mega Manectric Yveltal, which I think is a good matchup for Night March, because if he ever tries to use Yveltal EX, I just knock it out really easily. Granted, if he uses Baby Yveltal, he does knock out all the Night March Pokemon, because he hits for weakness on Pumpkaboo. So it's kind of a weird matchup. But essentially, he went to try and set up Mega Manectrics. So the first Mega Manectric, I believe. When did I get my first knockout? I don't remember, but essentially I would knock out a Mega Manectric. He had to promote an Yveltal. I couldn't quite get the Lysander knockout on the next Mega Manectric because because one of my Lampents was prized. So I had to knock out a baby Yveltal. Then he promoted a Mega Manectric again and knocked something out. And it was a really close game. You guys should definitely go check it out. But I ended up winning just because he made it so I had to knock out a Mega Manectric for my last prize, and I only had one prize left. And the turn before, when I got a knockout, I got the Lampent.
Okay.
So yeah, I had Bunnelby active, and I had to revive and put a Pumpkaboo onto my bench. And so I bundled beat back in a switch and a DCE, I believe. So then the next turn, he just left. He didn't attack. Wait, no, he Mega Evolved to end his turn. So then I VS Seekered for a Sycamore, and I Sycamored, and of course got the switch and the DCE, and then I just knocked it out from there. But it was a really close game. I was pretty worried about it actually. But yeah.
Paul's definitely a player to watch out for.
He's definitely a good player, and he's a really nice guy too. I was happy to see
He
him.
and his son are some of the most friendly faces in this game, and also some of the best faces in this game.
Yeah. So Paul ended up getting second, and then Paul's son Isaiah actually got first in seniors.
Yeah, he was playing Wobbuffet Bats, wasn't he?
Wobbuffet Bats, yeah. He was having a lot of fun with that. He was telling me about that.
I remember that's kind of one of our little joke decks because there was a cities up in Nebraska, or I guess over in Nebraska, and they were doing Omaha and Lincoln in the same weekend, and I wasn't able to go to Lincoln, so he was texting me and he goes, "Are you going to Lincoln cities?" And I go, "No, I have to go home tonight." So I was just doing Omaha. So he goes, "Okay, I'll just play Wobbuffet Bats then," and he won that cities with Wobbuffet Bats.
Awesome.
And got his Worlds invite out of that. So it's one of those decks that kind of holds a special place in our hearts.
But yeah, overall, I was pretty happy with the tournament. I actually got really lucky that I didn't face Trey. Of course, Trey from the Pokemon Troupe at tournament, because Kierden told Trey to play Aegislash Vileplume Bronzong, so a really rogue deck that I would
He
have.
also played Miltanks. Don't forget Miltanks.
He also played Miltank. And I had no way to beat that deck. Night March, if it gets item locked and then it can't attack Pokemon, it can't attack with the double colorless, it can't win. So I got really lucky. Trey faced Paul round 2, and Paul was able to get the win because he wasn't really playing special energies. So
Did he not play double colorless?
He might have. I never saw it, but he never really. I don't think he needed to use it.
Yeah.
In the matchup, either of the matchups between me or Trey. So I got really lucky that Paul faced Trey because that was my only chance of winning the tournament.
Yeah, Trey. He sent me a text message like really late. It was like 11 o'clock at night, like some Friday night, and I was almost asleep. I was super tired, and he texted me, he goes, "What should I play for the league challenge?" And so I don't want to have to think about it for too long, so I just started thinking about everything we're expecting to see, Night March Bees, and I just go Aegislash and Vileplume. And then it was a pretty good play. He just got slightly unlucky facing the one deck that really didn't need special energy and could function under item lock, because Manectric is notorious for being an incredibly low maintenance deck. It really, beats Toad. It can function under item lock.
Definitely. But yeah, so that was fun. We'll probably do a video of my Night March deck going up against Trey's Aegislash Vileplume deck to show how much he would have beaten me. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Kiernan, do you have any questions for me?
Would Night March be a deck that you'd consider for Fort Wayne Regionals?
I feel Night March is definitely a very strong deck, and I'd say I definitely would consider it for Fort Wayne Regionals. I'm still not positive on what I want to play for Regionals. Luckily, since Fort Wayne is week 3, we'll have time to see what's been doing well and be able to decide off of that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think
let's just be glad we don't have to play 2 ball to win anything that we're playing anymore.
yeah, that'd be rough. But yeah, make sure to check out more videos coming out from us, the Pokemon Troupe, and comment down below what you guys think of Night March and what you guys think of what will be good this season, and what videos do you want to see.
Definitely be on the lookout. We want to try to get some expanded content to you now, because that's probably the format that's on everyone's minds in the next month or so. In fact, the first expanded format regionals are in about 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks.
Week 1 is creeping up.
So yeah.
So definitely be on the lookout for expanded videos. Is there anything else? Any other thoughts?
That's about it. Thanks for watching. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah. That's Pokemon Troupe signing off.
Pokemon Trope out.